My name is Shawn. I've been diagnosed with autism, as some people call it Asperger syndrome. I was diagnosed very late in life, so I've spent most of my life not knowing I was autistic, and the last 15 years or so understanding my condition. I was born in 1964. There was not even the hint of a diagnosis until 1987. So I grew up without anyone knowing what autism was or how those traits manifested. So I dealt with a lot of challenges and difficulties. I mean, I ran into many challenges in making friends, understanding what people want or expected of me, and that's probably the biggest challenge. Wanting to please people, but not understanding the social rules. And people, they judge you based on what they expect of you versus how we're wired naturally. And it was really, really hard. One of the harder challenges I had when I was in kindergarten is that everybody, because I didn't talk, everybody thought that I was not very intelligent and I didn't understand the material. And while they were reading books like, See Dick Run, which was what they were required to read, I would go to the library and I would take out technical manuals on tanks and planes, and I would memorize them because they were fascinating to me. I loved the facts. How fast could this plane go? But the teachers would tell my parents, like, there's something wrong with him. He can't learn. It wasn't that I couldn't learn the material, but the way that school is taught and structured was really hard for me. And I was afraid to ask, because if I asked, people thought that I was being difficult when I just didn't understand. So I would get yelled at and punished for not acting a particular way. And still to this day, I will never go up to someone and say, will you be my friend? Like, the fear of rejection is just so great, particularly because you don't know how to make that pair bond with them. But I will go up, if somebody is playing or talking and they're doing something, I will go up and sit next to them. And if I find there's a common interest, then we'll make friends around common interests. Socializing, like traditionally of saying, hey, will you be my friend, never happens. And we spend a lot of our life lonely. One question I get commonly asked is about how we experience love and do we feel love? And the truth is, of course we do, but it comes across different. I mean, we don't show love in the most common ways. We don't run. When my daughter was young, she wouldn't come in and go, Daddy, 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 it's so good to see you. Like, sometimes she'll draw me a picture, or in my daughter's case, probably the most beautiful story is I told her one day that acorns mean I love you. And every day she'd come home from elementary school with acorns in her pocket because she knew that that was important. She refused to stop bringing home acorns because how powerful is that? A lot of kids with autism don't know how to express love in traditional ways, but they will if you work with them to develop that language of letting them know what is meaningful to you. They have to learn it through intuition. And once they connect to something, they can express themselves as beautifully and powerfully as any human on earth. Less than 9% of people who have autism ever get married. As it turns out, I did get married, and she's real because she's here. It can happen, but it's something you have to work on.
Early in our relationship, Shawn used the word paraclete. And paraclete is a battle term. I'd never heard it before, but ultimately it was the pairing off of soldiers, and they would go back to back in order to fight and protect themselves. And he said, I envision a relationship that looks like that, right? Where we go back to back and we fight for things together. You protect mine and I'll protect yours.
I'm happy almost all the time. I mean, I'm crying today because I'm sharing a story because I want people to know how much we do feel. We're deeply empathetic. I feel for everyone that I meet, but I'm never happier than when I meet other people like me who genuinely who are just happy as I am. The only time I'm not happy is when people put unfair expectations on me that I don't understand. That's the only thing that really causes me a great amount of stress. 1981, I told my parents that I wanted to go to college and learn how to use computers. My mother told me that they were toys and I'd never be able to make a living. It turned out that the computers were really powerful. They were just something that was coming in the future, but I looked at them and I said, there's a roadmap here to success. It was even able to innovate a lot of the things that computers do. I earned several patents in different technologies of developing new mathematical structures. Many of those are what we currently call blockchain. Two of my patents are security algorithms of which I secured the data that are now classified by the US government. And now I continue to pursue trying to help people who have rare diseases and people with autism from a neuroscience perspective, from a biological perspective. The beautiful thing about autism is it's a never-ending fount of creativity and a never-ending fount of determination. Once you set us on a goal, we're capable of anything if we continue to pursue and don't let people tell us that we can't. It's a worthwhile journey.